Welcome to the Happy Hour podcast. I'm Shannon.
And I'm Nathan.
And we are your hosts sharing our crazy lives here on the ranch with you.
We're husband and wife, and we're going to chat with y'all about what's happening here at the ranch, in the world, and whatever else we're fixating on.
And our goal is to share our journey, some laughs, and maybe we'll all learn a little something along the way too.
Welcome to Happy Hour podcast, and buckle up.
Hey guys, welcome to the Happy Hour podcast. It's Shannon solo today, and I'm so excited because I have two really cool guests. I love it when I have guests, but then when I have like double the pleasure, oh my God, that sounded like a sexual toy. Well, we're going to go with that. I have double Shannon today. Two really cool guests. I've got Remi and Bonnie. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you.
Hello.
Happy to be here.
I am so excited y'all are here. I was recently a guest on their podcast, and I met Remi because she attended one of my retreats here at the ranch and got to introduce me to Bonnie, which is very cool. And I'm going to let y'all talk about this, but they know each other through their podcast. Like I said, I was a guest on the show. So I'd love first, just because so many people are so interested in podcasting. And if you haven't noticed, like there are podcasts for days, which is really cool because there's a podcast for everything you might be thinking of, right? You get to hear from, people who are interested in the same things that you're interested in, and you get to connect with like-minded people, which I just think is so awesome. So I'd love for y'all to just kind of share about your podcast and how it became and all the goodies about it.
Okay. Well, okay, I'll start. Remi and I actually started coaching each other. Gosh, it's going on a couple years now. We met in life coach school and just connected as coaches, and we coach each other every Sunday morning, almost every single Sunday morning, unless life gets in the way. And from there, just built this great friendship and a like-minded connection. And we both are passionate about working with Gen X women. And I think the podcast happened because when we say we want to give voice to these Gen X women, we felt it's important that they hear our voices, literally. We can post memes and blogs all day long, but podcasting being such a great forum to get your message out there. And that's where they can find us and hear us in the raw.
Yeah. And I think we initially thought of it as a kind of a marketing tool to help our coaching businesses as well. But it definitely, the more we talked to each other, we were like, I bet there's a lot of other people out here that are struggling with the same challenges and issues that we are. Let's give ourselves a voice and give them a voice. And so that's really what the podcast is all about.
That is so cool. Okay, there's so much to delve into that you guys just shared. The first one is, let's talk about life coaching school. So that's how you guys met. Talk to us about the school and then what each of your individual businesses or focuses are.
Okay, I'll start off. Well, the coaching school we went to, I said January of 2019, right?
2020.
Oh gosh,
2020. It was right at this. No, wait a minute.
21.
21, because it was, we were knee deep in the pandemic. Yeah, 21.
Okay,
I
brains,
feel like
wake
there's
up.
a time warp around COVID. There's like
There really is.
the year
there
before,
totally
the years of the pandemic, and then even the year coming out of it. It's like this weird ass time warp. So I get it.
No,
Yeah,
totally. And that kind of segues into why I got into the coaching and why I found the school was just, here we were sitting on furlough from our careers and just feeling so lost. And this was an opportunity to dig into something that I had been on the back burner thinking about. The school we attended was called Journey. It's now called Lumia. Very progressive, sometimes too progressive for us old ladies, but it was a great experience. And yeah, that's where we met.
Yeah. And
Awesome.
go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead, love. Go ahead.
This is where it gets complicated. 3 people on at once. Yeah. So I went with kind of the same situations. My background is in the event industry. And of course, the pandemic just knocked us out. And so it was kind of that for me, actually, it was almost more of I want to be able to help all of my friends that were in the industry figure out something else, because we didn't have any idea how long it was going to be for them to be able to get back to work. And truthfully, it took a lot of them 2 years to get back to work.
Yeah.
So that's why I ended up going.
Awesome. And so you each went to life coaching school, you met there, and then now tell me who you serve. Like, who's your ideal client and what do you help them with?
Well, for me, I am serving grandmas who are raising grandchildren. And I'm really passionate about it because I've been raising my grandson, Easton, since he was an infant. He was about 5 months old. He turns 4 this Friday, and we just adopted him last week. So it's a amazing passion for me because I feel when I was first going through it, I felt really lonely. I lost friends. It was like giving birth, and everybody, your happy hour buddies were like, well, bye. And nobody understood. And then there's the addiction connection with my daughter. It was just a really lonely place to be in. The whole legal system is terrifying. So with all my tools in my pocket, these are the women that I want to mentor and help get them through that rough patch.
I love that. I'm gonna revisit that, but now I want to hear who Remi serves.
So mine, I get kind of involved in a lot of different areas because there's the practical side of coaching, which, as I said, why I went to coaching school, and it was to help people figure out, mid-career, you're stuck, whatever's happened, you've lost your job, you lost your passion, you moved, whatever it may be, that you now are in a situation where you need to refigure your career. Do you need to start a small business? Do you need to go back to school? What are these things to get you on a path with purpose? So that was my original reason to go and to help people build small businesses, because I've been an entrepreneur for several years. But as I've gotten into this and I really started doing my own self-healing and self-growth through this, I have a couple other things that I'm very passionate about as well and love to work with people on. And one of them is self-care and making yourself a priority and making sure you're doing the right things for your body and your mind and your spirit. And then also kind of still focused on that Gen X woman, the middle-aged woman. You'll find so often that we kind of lose ourselves under our labels. And your mom, you're a wife, you have a career, so you label yourself whatever that career is. But who are you really? Because when these things start to go away, you retire, you lose your job, your kids move off and leave the home, become an empty nester, all these things, you get divorced. Who are you now? And so many women get lost because they have no idea. We actually just had our last podcast was with Bonnie's daughters, and just both of them being moms, they're just lost that in that label, and they don't know, so it's so needed, and so many people are suffering and they don't have to. So
hey, it's Shannon here. Do you want to know my number one secret to feeling good, including helping to ease my anxiety and stress? Yoga. I know, don't roll your eyes. But seriously, one of the best things I did for myself over a decade ago was delve deep into the rich yoga philosophy, history, and practices, which provided some incredible tools for healthy living, as well as inviting so much peace and joy into my life. And at the time, I had no intention of teaching yoga. I did it purely for me, to find love and acceptance of myself and the world around me, and I did. Of course, the training can also help if you want to then share the gift of yoga with others. All that to say, did you know that we now offer a yoga teacher training, including a 100% online option so that you can go completely at your own pace? Our online platform is bursting with so many incredible resources, including videos, workbooks, templates, and more. Plus, we have optional weekly live sessions and the ability to add on a 4-day in-person retreat right here at the ranch. Not to mention, you get access to the content for life, including our graduates who get to continue to attend the live sessions, if they want, to get CE credits too. So with affordable pricing, a convenient monthly payment option if you like, and the ability to go at your own pace, this is seriously the perfect time to join a community of incredible support, love, and learning. I did it for me, and I'd love to see you do it for you. To find out more, visit mindbodycomplete.com. renovatedrealities.com, then click trainings right at the top.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I have to say for both of you, I'm a big believer, and I wouldn't have said this 10 years ago, but I'm a big believer in like knowing specifically who you serve and having that niche really outlined. And it sounds like both of you completely have that. I know, Remi, yours it's got a little bit broader as far as you almost, what I'm hearing is it's like you really serve kind of two demographics, but they all could go into one.
If we say a middle-aged woman, truthfully. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you're in the middle of a career change, that affects your identity and that affects your self-care. I mean, all of
Absolutely.
it is kind of tied together.
It is
still
all tied
very
together.
niche-y. Yeah. And we're into niche-y because sometimes, like, for instance, when I first started hosting retreats, I felt like I was like, I'm just talking to every single woman alive. Well, I mean, that's great. But the truth is that the message gets lost. And then the people that I served was so all over the place that the connection wasn't there either. And so it felt disjointed because I was in a market to too many, too wide. And so as much as I'd like to say I serve all women, my voice isn't for all women. It's just not. And I'm okay with that now. Now I've worked past the ego part of, I need to be the answer to all things.
Right.
And first of all, I'm not an answer to anything, really. It's they're an answer for themselves. I just want to create a space for them to find that answer. And so, but I had to get past that ego part. So I love it when people start their business. And it sounds like both of you guys have started your coaching business knowing exactly who you're going to serve. And that's huge.
Well, I'll jump in and say that when I knew this is pretty much what I wanted to do when I got into coaching school, but because of all the gurus out there, the bombardment of all of this coaches marketing to coaches, I was like, well, just that won't work. Who am I going to talk to? Grandmas? How are they even going to find me? So I dabbled and I was working pretty broad. So actually really niching down only happened through coaching with Remi, honestly, maybe 6 or 8 weeks ago. And I was like, you know what? I'm tired of this. I want to give voice to that woman. I don't care if I make $1 million or not. It's that woman who needs a hug, that woman who needs a space to say, you know what, I'd really love to murder my daughter today because this is bullshit. I should be traveling. I should be making love to my husband. I should, instead of up to my eyebrows in laundry. And so, with Remi's coaching, I was able to say, you know what, pull it back and just really niche it down, not only just, to ignite my passion, but from a marketing and a business standpoint, it's what makes sense.
Thank you for being transparent about that. Because I actually think most people start off wide. So even though I was very impressed, I'm still impressed because you got there faster than I think the average person would get there. And you said it, so purely, which is I'm following the passion and not just the dollar. And I believe that the dollar will follow the passion. And so I feel like when you do get niched and when you know exactly who you're going to serve and exactly what you can help with, the rest line up. I just believe that. But how you get there probably looks messy and looks kind of weird and you're trying to figure it out. And you know what I mean? Yeah. So that's awesome. Thanks for that transparency. Do you feel like it was that cut and dry for you, Remi, or did you also go pretty wide and then narrow down, or what do you think?
So I think I've actually gotten a little bit wider because I initially started out with trying to just do the career and small business. And then, kind of like I said, the passions, yes, I love that, but I'm so passionate about these other things too, that I want to make sure that's part of the things that I'm giving voice to. So, and because it is really, as you said, it's all incorporated. And so it's trying to, I guess, make a whole woman, I guess would be kind of the way to approach it, right? It's not just your career that's making you unhappy. If you're unhappy in your career, we need to look at all of the things. And, women, and this, Shannon, we suck at taking care of ourselves. We always put ourselves on the back burner. And so, I found myself in a situation which, if you listen to my podcast, you'll hear this, but my husband is an recovering alcoholic. And so coming to that realization that I have spent all of my everything, I guess, trying to take care of him. And when we finally got him into rehab, I was like, holy crap, I haven't been doing anything for me. And so now is my chance to heal as well. And so I think so many of us go through that it's become important for me as well.
Yeah. I actually am hearing from you, though, it is more niche-y. I know you're thinking you went wider, but I actually feel like you went more niche. And here's why I say that. When you're talking about career transitions and however that happens, I feel like that's wide. That could be any age, any all over the place, any demographic, any career. I mean, it could be all over the place. But when you're talking about your Gen X woman specifically, and then just life transitions is what I'm hearing. So it's not just job
absolutely.
transitions, life. Yeah.
Right.
And to me, that's more niched, and it speaks to, so I say all this because I think it's important. The work that we do is so hard in the sense that, like, we're serving, but we also need to run a business, right? So as much as no one likes to talk about it, we need to be profitable. We're not doing this just because we are independently wealthy and can just volunteer all of our time, right? And maybe we do offer some programs like that, and we have some different tiered things, and that's all great. But at the end of the day, it's a business, and we're supporting ourselves and our family. And so the marketing of our work is important. And the person the only way a person can hear and connect with you is if you're marketing to a specific niche. I mean, that's what it comes down to, because then you know what language to use. You know what that person needs to hear because you serve that person. You may even be that person or was that person, whatever may be the case. And so that's where I get real fired up when women, I work with women primarily, when women are either starting a business or they're trying to grow their business, and they're doing what most of us do, which is they're going super wide, and in their mind, they're like, either one, because I love all these things, which that's fine, or number two, because I want to make sure I don't miss any dollars. Right. And so, and I feel like when we become as niched as possible, that's when our messaging hits right. That's when the person we serve lines up with us. Because I don't know if you've had to yet work with someone where you're like, oh, this doesn't feel right.
Oh, yeah.
For whatever reason.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And a lot of, yeah. And then in my heart, the money follows. Like, you know what I mean? And I know that's hard to hear, because when we go into business for ourselves, obviously there's a factor in there that has to do with money. I mean, it just is. That's just the way the world works. And so, but I believe that once you line up exactly who you serve, and you can speak to that person and market to that person, I really feel like the money will follow. And so anyway, I love that you guys, to me, on this side of it, it feels like you know exactly who you want to serve. It may look a little different, but you know who you want to serve. And I think that is crucial. I think that's so crucial. Okay, let's talk about the challenges of being a coach. Each of you share your biggest challenge of being a coach.
Okay. Well, for me, I think it is the business aspect of it. Marketing. Oh man, how do I get out there? How do I get my message heard? We've both talked a lot recently about social media and trying to navigate Facebook and Instagram to the point where you just want to throw the laptop out the window, the phone in the water, because this isn't working. You're like screaming into the traffic, you know. That's my biggest challenge. That, and having a husband and a kid, and finding the time to really just dive into my work. It's selling yourself. So there's content, there's blog posts, there's personal appearances. For me, it's the marketing and the personal energy. Just at the end of the day, feeling like I don't want to play anymore some days.
Yeah.
I can hear that.
Yeah, absolutely. And mine actually is kind of the same challenge. And what's so weird for me is that I actually have a marketing background, but this business is so different to market that a lot of the tactics that I have used historically for other people's businesses and my own are just not working. And so it's, I think so much about coaching is, it's really about having the conversations and putting yourself in situations where you can. And I'm finding it to be a little bit difficult here where I live, because it's, a fairly rural area. And there just aren't as many opportunities to put myself in front of people that are one, financially able, and two, that are just the right demographic. And so trying to do anything online, Bonnie and I have discussed this over and over. It's like Facebook just doesn't work anymore. And I've seen this, so many people are saying this, that where it used to be you could throw something up on Facebook, put $25 to it, and you're going to have, 100 people coming at you. Well, that doesn't happen anymore. So times have changed, and really trying to find the way to get in front of that right audience has become a lot more challenging than I thought it would be. So same as Bonnie's, the marketing element of it.
Yeah. When I started hosting retreats, it was well over a decade ago. And I can honestly say that I could just put a $5 towards my marketing effort on Facebook and would be
boom, boom, boom.
Instant. Yeah. And yes. So I can appreciate the difference that. And then today, where you have to spend, if you want to get some traction, your hundreds doesn't even cut it. Like you're getting up there, and it's duplicated, in my opinion. Of course, I am your D+. In my opinion, to place an ad these days is like, do I need a special degree for this shit? Because it's
you aren't kidding.
Holy cow.
Yeah. And then the Facebook gods deny it.
Yes.
Like, what?
Yes.
Why?
Or they deny it, or if they let you have it, they change what you've chosen. Because I had one where I put $150 toward it, and I picked out specific, things to people to send it to, this age range, they have these interests, this salary, whatever. So it was perfect. And then when I went to go check it, somehow Facebook had swapped it for what they wanted it to be. And I was getting 0 hits because it was not going to the right audience. And guess what? I was stuck spending the money because it was too late when I noticed that it wasn't going to the targeted audience. What?
Yeah. Same thing. It ended up going to real estate interests. I'm like, what?
I will say two things that I think maybe will help. I don't know. One, I'm actually starting really to believe back into graphics marketing. I think people are wanting to connect with people more than with a digital presence. I know that's difficult when you're rural, but I do think, and I think you can use some of the digital to do that. And what I mean is, for the longest time, I've been looking for a group that I could belong to. Well, I'm rural, I'm ranching, and I'm also self-help. Like there's all these, and I'm like, no, and it finally fell in my lap. There's this group called Cowgirls Over Coffee, and they're business women who also run ranches. It's super cool. And so we connect, and it's a lot of grassroots that's happening in that group, which I think is great. But also just connecting as much as you can within your community. I feel like when people are ready for that again, they're ready, and not just because of COVID. It actually has nothing to do with that. I think we're so digital now that we're craving an actual human being to talk to me. And so I do think that we cannot discount grassroots marketing anymore. Where 5 years ago, I think people were like, that's a waste of time. And maybe it was. But I really feel like today you can go back to knocking on doors, whether it's calling them up or email or physically walking to a door. I think people are more open to that. And so I think that that's not an area to be discarded. As far as the digital presence, I hate to say it, you've got two options. Either you take courses and you learn it. I don't desire to do that. Or you outsource it and you hire someone who does. And that's where I've gone, is I've just outsourced it. There's a platform that's reasonably priced. It's called Upwork.com. There's also a few others. There's like Fiverr. I think it's Fiverr because everything used to be $5, no longer anymore. Anyway, so there's some great resources there. But like I have a gal who she's amazing. She's in Jamaica, and she helps us with our blogs and social media calendars and all kinds of amazing things. And it's worth it for us to do that. And so you kind of have, I think, your battles, but I really feel like either learning it or outsourcing it, because digital presence is important. It is. But I also feel like now grassroots marketing is getting to be almost as important again. I'm able to go into my community and meet other business owners, and for you guys, groups that fit your model, whatever those are, whether it's healthcare organizations or yoga studios even, or chiropractor, whatever it is that would follow into your realm, naturopathic doctors, supplement stores, places that people are going to look for help, but that you guys could also help. Does that make sense? So complimentary services, places that do massages, places that have self-care options, whatever may be the case, but partnering with them and doing workshops together and doing, mutually beneficial things together, running programs together, helping each other build each other, I feel like is now back to being, it's not that it never went away completely, but now I feel like people really are looking for that real person connection and not just an ad they saw on Facebook or Instagram. So that's just my thoughts. What do you guys think?
Yeah. And I think you're absolutely right. And that's an avenue that I have started going back down. I did a workshop with one of my friends that owns a yoga studio here. And the big thing that all of the ladies that came said was that they are looking for places to make friends, because everybody, I guess probably before the pandemic, but even more so after the pandemic, we were so divided, right? I mean, political division was crazy. And then not being able to leave your home and I think we're just a mess, but that all of them said that we need ways to make friends. And so that's why they were attending that workshop and other ones that they attend. So trying to figure out a way to do that. I've been thinking about maybe trying to do something on Meetup, but there really isn't anything on Meetup right now for where I live. So I'm curious if people would even find it, but I guess it doesn't hurt to try.
Yeah,
It doesn't.
I set up a Meetup group virtual, and I've actually had a couple people join it. So it's called Rise and Shine Grandma, and we haven't actually met yet, but we will eventually meet every first Saturday of the month. And I got a couple people to sign up for it, which was really exciting. Nobody I know, they don't even live in the Seattle area. But I don't know how to get it going. I looked all over Meetup. I can't see how to promote it other than just sharing it on Twitter and Facebook. So I don't know how they're finding me,
It could be an SEO thing. They just typed it in and it popped up because there was enough SEO words that matched. I always say if you've got one, you'll have the potential for more. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I'm going to go with it. I'm committed.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It was exciting. So I know we would prefer face-to-face and actual coffee together, but Remi, you might be able to. It did cost me. I had to pay.
Yeah, it's like $14.99 or something, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was
like that. Yeah,
it was. I did an annual thing, so that was worth it.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. See.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying something new.
Right. I'm hoping I'll be able to get some workshops and speaking engagements and stuff through the chamber. I've talked to them about that. And there's another women's organization it's so funny to say this, but it's 2 towns away. But that's
over yonder.
We are. Yeah. Over yonder, right? Yeah.
Hey guys, it's Shannon. I'm just going to interrupt for just a second to ask you for a big favor. Will you pause right now and go leave us a review if you haven't already? Or if you're not subscribed, maybe click that little plus button. We are so appreciative.
And I never knock any of that. I think chambers and groups are so powerful, especially when we're starting and we just want to spread energy because we think we're spreading the word and we are, but that word is energy. You spread it to one person, and that's why I always say just one person, and then they tell someone else, and so you're just spreading energy, and as much as you possibly can. I think that's exactly what happens. And honestly, next thing you know, as long as you're staying true and committed to who you serve, and your message doesn't get jumbled along the way, it all starts to come together. It's kind of like that this is super silly, but it's kind of like that wave, out in the ocean. It starts just as movement. And then it's traction, but that wave could take a really long time from way out there to come up onto shore. And halfway through, you might go, forget it. This isn't working. When it was building up all that momentum, you know?
Yeah.
And so just staying true to who you're going to serve, I think it does. I really believe in it. I believe in that model wholeheartedly. And then you'll find, and we are going to throw darts here for certain things, especially as we're focusing on where our niche can hear us, like the person that we serve, where will they hear us? Is it on Pinterest? Is it in formats? Where does your demographic look for solutions? Blog writing, can you guest blog write? Can you blog write for other people who serve your demographic? Can you obviously get on other people's podcasts? I mean, the more you can get that search mobility out and spread that energy, it's all going to come back. I just totally believe in that. So,
yeah.
But anyway,
yeah.
what is your biggest success you want to share? Okay, we can't have crickets now.
Nothing. Well, as far as moving into the grandma's niche, I haven't had any paying clients yet, but just the success in this recently has just been, oh my God, thank you. And I've reached out to a social worker and a lawyer, and the response was great. Send me some business cards. So just I call the validation of knowing I'm on the right path, I call that a win.
Absolutely.
When I was, I've coached a few gals just on self-love and radical acceptance, and the aha moments that they had during the coaching sessions were
amazing. Yep.
Amazing. And then to hear, when I checked back at Christmas time to hear that they're still doing well, and giving me their updates on their lives. And so those are my success stories. I feel like
awesome.
I'm just learning to ride without training wheels right now. So
well, I love it.
Yeah.
So mine are kind of similar. I think you're talking about the momentum, and so I feel the momentum happening. So like I was able to do a workshop with one of my girlfriends that I told you about, and that went really well. And then I actually am a guest contributor to one of our local women's magazines called Inspire. So that's cool. I've had the opportunity to get a couple blog posts put up on other people's sites. That's cool. So, the momentum's building. Like you said, the wave is up here somewhere, and we're just waiting for it to swoosh in. So that's good. But in like Bonnie, I just made up your name. You put a B in there. Bommy. I know, we call you the bomb or something like that.
I like it. Okay.
Thebomb.com, right?
Yeah, totally.
But kind of like she said, the aha moments when doing coaching is such an incredible feeling, not only for me, but for the person that I'm coaching. And that every time, that is just such an amazing feeling. And it really lets me know that I'm on the right path. So
I love it. Well, I'm so glad that you guys joined us or join me. Usually, sometimes my husband joins, but sometimes not. And to be quite honest with you, I don't get nearly as much accomplished when he does. He's a very rural individual, which bless his heart. We need somebody in our relationship that's like that, because I'm always like, keep your eye on the ball, and he's over here having fun, and I need fun, and he needs to keep his eye on the ball more. So there's some balance somewhere in there when we don't murder each other.
Right.
So
exactly.
But I really appreciate you guys being on here. Will you just give a moment? I'm going to have it all in the show notes, but would you have a moment, just each of you let everybody know where they can find you?
Okay. I have a website. It's bonnieblackstone.com. You can find me on Facebook. I have a group called Delusions of Grandma. You can email me at bonnie@bonnieblackstone.com.
Perfect. Thanks, Bonnie.
Yeah, of course.
And for Remi, my website is Renovated Realities, and you can email me at Remi@Renovated Realities, and it's REMI. And then also I've got Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. I don't know, I think I've got them all, but the ones I'm most active on are actually Facebook and Instagram.
Awesome. Let's not forget our podcast.
Oh yes, most importantly.
Yes, conversations on life, work, and love, and we air every Thursday. Our topics are a bit all over there, but we're giving voice to Gen X women and really pulling from our own experience. So we will often just kind of bring up a topic that we're personally processing or have processed and lay it out there, because we know other women are feeling the same way.
I love that. And I love what y'all said at the beginning too, that since you're giving a voice to this demographic, that you felt it important that they also hear an actual voice, both your own, but also the guests that you have on your show. So thank you so much for serving graphics that you do and for putting your heart in it, because you cannot be a coach, in my opinion. You can't be a coach without putting your heart in it. It's just part of it. And usually it's what drives work in the first place. And so thank you so much for doing that, ladies. It means the world to serve. And anytime we can put more love and kindness in ourselves and others, it heals the world as a whole, is my humble opinion.
Amen
So
to that.
thank you guys so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having us on today and giving us this opportunity to reach a few more people.
Yes. Thanks so
Love
much,
it.
Shannon.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for listening to the Happy Hour Podcast. If you'd like to learn more, visit us online at www.happyhourpodcast.org.
And you're welcome.